Welcome, everyone! I'm so excited to get you started on your journey to find your gifts and talents and giving you the tools you need to succeed and be who you're destined to be.
Welcome, friend. We are excited to help you discover your new look. My name is Shanidra Matthews and I started Amara 2 Classy Boutique to help women find classy and chic items for all sizes. It's not like the store experience. If we don't have your size, you can go on our website and purchase your size in your favorite outfit.
Welcome, everyone! I'm so excited to get you started on your journey to find your gifts and talents and giving you the tools you need to succeed and be who you're destined to be.
Become their own boss. It's pretty fun as you get used to it because we get to do like a lot of fun stuff. Like you get to learn about different things like in business.
Exposing kids to new possibilities for their future.
I'm kind of thinking that I kind of want to do like some type of editing stuff or either like making clothing.
Shanidra Matthews founded Beyond the Cover Academy to help kids develop new skills that will benefit them in the future. Behind every door, a new experience. Photography, art, music, cosmetology.
Hello, everyone. This is your girl Shanidra with Let's Dig Deep. Yes, indeedy. If you can hear me clearly. Now, I know that y'all have found me to be on here early. I mean, God has really been, I was up at like 1 o'clock this morning, all the way up until almost, it was like 2:37 when I went back to sleep. Then I'm back up, to discuss what it was that God woke me up to tell you guys about. And today it was beware of the Jezebel / Delilah spirit. Now, I've always heard about the Jezebel spirit. When God said Delilah, I was like, wasn't quite sure or quite remember that story of Delilah. So I had to read the Bible and, figure out what that was all about. So I'm about to help you guys out. Now, so you can be found wearing your crown. Let me break this down. What are the Jezebel and Delilah spirits? I know that's the main question y'all are asking, like, what in the world are those type of spirits that you want us to be aware of? That's not me, the Almighty. But let's see. The Jezebel and Delilah spirits are demonic spirits. That's why you need to be aware, because these are demonic spirits. These are not of God spirits. These are demonic spirits, if you can hear it. That the enemy uses to attack God's people. The spirits are named after individuals in the Old Testament, Jezebel and Delilah. Jezebel was a wicked queen who lived during the time of Ahab's reign in 1 Kings. Jezebel used her relationship with King Ahab to promote her ungodly ideas of Baal worship. That was Jezebel. Jezebel recognized she had no real authority. Remember, I've been telling y'all about these people that don't have real authority, and beware of the impersonators and the haters and all this. These people, be aware of. She recognized she had no real authority on her own, so she attached herself to a powerful leader to stay in power. So they will attach themselves to someone that is very powerful in God. Remember, these are people that attack God's people. So they will attach themselves to a powerful person in God. Now, Delilah, that was Jezebel. Delilah, in contrast, was a Philistine woman who was in relationship with Samson, one of Israel's judges. And you can find this in Judges, the 16th chapter. Delilah used her relationship with Samson to find out the source of his strength and betray him to his enemies. Both Jezebel and Delilah used control and manipulation to destroy God's anointed, but the outcome of their attacks was much different. Whereas Jezebel wanted to use her relationship with Ahab to destroy God's people from a place of influence, like a tyrant, Delilah wanted to discover the source of Samson's strength as an individual level and sabotage it. So these two people are very dangerous. And when they attach themselves, these are needy, controlling people that have to be, up under somebody. They're always victim. They're always, the victim. They're always the ones that, act like, they have everything under control and they act normal, but they're not. So, before we get deeper and we dig a little bit deeper, I'm about to play this quick video so that it can let you guys know. Here we go.
Warfare can certainly be involved when a Delilah is present in our lives. I'm not specifically talking about a spirit of Delilah in this video. I'm referring to someone who has similar traits as the evil woman Delilah as described in the Bible. Because I'm going to be talking about her in a symbolic way, just know that a man or a woman can be a Delilah. So here are 9 signs someone is a Delilah. Number 1. A Delilah will try to use your weaknesses to control you. Before Samson met Delilah in Judges 16, we see that he had a weakness towards seduction. In Judges 14, he fell for a godless woman that was unholy. In Judges 16 verse 1, Samson pursued a prostitute. Despite God using Samson in many good ways, he was clearly a man with deep flaws and weaknesses. A Delilah has the ability to pick up on your weaknesses and then use them as leverage to accomplish what they want. Notice that in Judges 16 verses 4 through 6, that Samson's enemies were well aware of his specific weakness. Delilah used her beauty to try to control Samson through his weakness towards seduction. Likewise, if someone is aware of your weaknesses and is trying to exploit them for their own personal gain, they are a Delilah to you. Avoid this person and accept that they will bring you nothing but harm if you let them stay in your life. Number 2, if this person confirms your initial instincts that they are untrustworthy, this is a sign of a Delilah. We shouldn't judge people without evidence, but we also should not ignore the discernment the Holy Spirit is sending us either. In Judges 16, 7 through 9, Samson clearly had a sense in his inner being that Delilah was not trustworthy, which is why he lied to her about the source of his true power. Delilah then immediately confirmed Samson's inner suspicions about her by betraying him. Unfortunately for Samson, he kept playing with fire and let Delilah stay in his life, even though she validated his concerns about her. If your inner discernment has been confirmed through damning external evidence, God is exposing a Delilah. Don't make the same mistake as Samson and then let this person remain in your life. Number 3, if someone has the ability to twist every situation to make themselves the victim and you the wrongdoer, this is a sign of a Delilah. Some people are excellent arguers and have a way of twisting the evidence and truth to make you the bad guy, even though they are the ones who actually did something wrong. Notice in Judges 16, 10 through 12, how Delilah just betrayed Samson, but somehow she is accusing him of mocking her. She has turned the situation completely around, and instead of being the betrayer, now she is the victim. If someone is always the victim, no matter how badly they are the ones who have betrayed you, this is a sign of a Delilah. Number 4, if this person endlessly nags and pressures you repeatedly in the same way over and over until they get exactly what they want, this is a sign of a Delilah. Delilah was relentless in the worst type of way. No matter how many times she failed at ruining Samson, she just kept trying again and again. Notice in Judges 16:13 through 14 that her tactics didn't even change that much. She was just persistently nagging and forceful. She already failed to trick him in this way before, but she just tried again until she found success. If someone is persistently nagging you to give you what they want, even though you both know what they want is not good for you, this is a sign of a Delilah. Number 5, if someone uses your love for them against you, this is a sign of a Delilah. For some reason, Samson seems to have really loved this woman. Despite her betrayal after betrayal, he unwisely stays with her. But notice how she uses his obvious love for her against him. Judges 16 verse 15 says, "And she said to him, 'How can you say, I love you, when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me these 3 times, and you have not told me where your great strength lies.'" A Delilah will start a sentence with the line, "If you really love me, you would." Don't let your love for someone be used against you. This is what a Delilah will do to you. Number 6, if someone's presence in your life is making you feel like death, this is a sign of a Delilah. If you've ever loved someone who struggled with addiction, you know how frustrating it can be to see this person keep something in their life that is literally killing them. This is how it is when a Delilah is in our lives. They are like an addiction that started out with pleasure but is now producing death. As Judges 16 verse 16 says, "And when she pressed him hard with her words day after day and urged him, his soul was vexed to death." Number 7, if someone is tempting you to betray God, this is a sign of a Delilah. While Samson's love life with women was obviously a total disaster, the worst part about his relationship issues was that ultimately they ended up hurting his relationship with God. A Delilah will ultimately want you to do whatever they want, even when what they want will cause you to turn your back on God. Samson was committed to the Lord, but through his association with Delilah, he revealed his secrets and compromised God's presence in his life. Number 8, if someone you trusted begins to torment you with what you have shared with them in secret, this is a sign of a Delilah. If someone really loves you, they will want to know the real you. They will want you to share your secrets with them. But unfortunately, people who just want to abuse you will also want you to share your secrets with them. So you have to be careful with who you share your secrets with. In Judges 16:18 through 19, Delilah uses Samson's secrets against him. Delilah was obviously untrustworthy, so Samson was a fool for telling her his most important secrets. But some people come across as trustworthy and only later reveal themselves to be a Delilah by using our secrets against us. This is why we must be slow to trust people deeply. Our trust of people should correspond to the evidence of their trustworthiness. And number 9, if you know this person is eventually going to hurt you, but for some reason you are keeping them in your life, this is a sign of a Delilah. Eventually, Samson's fears about Delilah proved true. He knew he shouldn't trust her, but for some reason, he couldn't remove her from his life. As we all know, if you play with fire long enough, you will always get burned. In the end, if a Delilah is in our lives, ultimately this says more about us than it does about this person. Delilahs are not the type of people who are liars in secret. They are not so crafty that we had no idea they were going to hurt us one day. Certainly there are people like this in the world, but the character of Delilah in the Bible was not this way. Samson knew she was dangerous, but he kept her in his life anyways. Therefore, a Delilah in your life will be marked by your knowledge that they are dangerous, but for some reason you can't seem to let them go. Against your better judgment, you are knowingly playing with fire and actively tricking yourself that you won't get burned, although deep down, you know this will eventually happen. As 1 Corinthians 15:33 states, "Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals." Paul tells us not to be deceived because he knows we will be tempted to let ourselves be deceived. Don't be fooled by the addictive power of a Delilah that tempts you to actively ignore what you know you should do. Remove this person before it's too late. Is God trying to warn you about a Jezebel in your life? Here are 9 more warning signs to help you answer that question. I'm Mark from ApplyGodsWord.com. Until next time, God bless.
So you heard it for yourself. You don't have to listen to nobody else. These type of Delilah slash Jezebel spirits will use what you told them in secret to abuse you and misuse you and confuse you if you don't do what they want you to do. Whatever you told them in secret, like Samson, he had a seduction problem. Most men have a certain weakness with women, anyways. So if a Delilah knows this is somebody that could be a close friend or whatever. If a Delilah knows this, then they will use that against you. They will use that to abuse you. They will use that to confuse you. Even though you may know what God is telling you to do, if you have a Delilah that confuses you and tells you the opposite and has you to do the opposite of what God has you to do, that gets you in trouble too, just like Samson. It got Samson in trouble. So we have to be aware of these Jezebel slash Delilah spirits. They attach themselves to powerful men and women of God. This could be a man or a woman. I know Delilah was a woman, but I'm saying that this type of demonic spirit could be in a man or a woman. If they know your weaknesses, they will use it against you. If they know a secret that don't nobody else know, that's how they keep that control. Because they know that you don't want nobody else to know about that. That's why I don't have any secrets. Now I understand why God, allows me to tell you who I'm not no more, because it's not who I am. My past is not who I am today. So you can't use me like that. As a matter of fact, I'm not who I was yesterday. So you can't use that type of control on Shanidra, because I know that I'm not trying to hide or deny or look like fake like something that I'm not like. I'll tell you myself. You ain't got to hear from nobody else. Because that's what the enemy uses to make you stay down and listen to them and keep them around. No ma'am, no ham, no turkey. Now I've dealt with that similar thing where I had to, these people are so controlling. They're somewhat narcissistic. They'll try to use any and everything. They're always victim. You will specifically know that they did something wrong, but somehow they condone their wrong and it's on you. Now you confused, like, what did I do? Like, how did it, just because you accuse them. But you're not necessarily accusing them, you're just stating facts that they actually did. But to take the focus off of them, like I keep telling y'all, they will take the focus off of them and put it back on you. So you can be left confused And they can continue to abuse and misuse you and confuse you. There's nothing that they can do. So God is going to get them too. He said they would not go unpunished, honey. So they can act funny, honey, all they want, but they would not go unpunished. Don't let them keep holding you down. They're going to keep playing around and God going to put them down. But you can't be playing with fire either. You got to let that go. You got to let that control go. Or they will destroy you. Right along with them. They know they're about to be destroyed, and now they're trying to destroy you right along with them. They attach themselves. They are nothing. But they try to make themselves something by attaching themselves to a powerful man or woman of God. So, be aware, be careful when you see someone that is that controlling. That's always victim. It's never their fault. It's never their fault. I cannot stand a victimized person that everything they are victim, they gotta cry and whine. Adults. We're talking about adults, and we're not even talking about kids. I think that's why I have so much patience with kids, because I'm like, at least they can grow up and be better. These adults that whine about everything, you cannot tell them anything is wrong because, you know, I've dealt with victimized people in my family. You cannot tell them nothing wrong. Oh my goodness, Jezebel. You tell them that all of a sudden you in the wrong, you the one that's wrong. Because you told them the truth and showed them the proof, and now you're wrong. You're either disrespectful or out of control, or what else would they try to use? Oh, like you're trying to down them, or you're so hurtful to them, your words are so hurtful, and just they're always victim. Nothing, I mean anything, they are in the wrong clearly, but it flips somehow on you to be in the wrong. They know how to flip the script and make it look like you are wrong, because they keep focusing, talking over you and all this stuff. Why are you trying to talk over me? That's how I be knowing when one of my kids are wrong. Because I'm like, you don't have to talk over somebody. If you're in the right, I'll let you say whatever you got to say. I want you to. Say everything. I'm waiting. Patiently. Tell it all. Tell everything. Tell all these little lies. Because only the truth will set you free, sweetheart. You got to keep lying. You got to keep applying all these different lies and all this stuff. But I'm going to did it with the truth. I'm going to show you the proof and did it with the truth, sweetheart. So I let people. I don't have to talk over people. People that talk over you are the main ones that have this Jezebel and Delilah spirit. Because they don't want to hear nothing wrong. You can't tell them that they're wrong. Because they condone their wrong, honey. You're the one that's wrong. You're wrong for the way you're talking to them. You're wrong for telling them that they're wrong. You're wrong for telling them that they are wrong. Don't tell them none of your secrets, because they will use that against you. You tell them something in confidence and in secret. Remember what Samson, but thankfully he didn't tell her his weakness. But if you tell somebody your weakness, oh my goodness, they're going to use that every time. Every time you try to leave, that's what they're going to use. No, I'm going to tell this, I'm going to tell that. Oh, well, I guess I'm going to have to let everybody know the truth. Or they may not say it like that because, they're condescending. So they may say it like, oh, well, you hurt me so bad. And, you try to confuse them. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might kill. They might say that they're going to kill themselves or just weird stuff, just stuff to keep you stuck. Because they know that you care and you will stay there. They're never the one that is the problem. They're not the problem. You are the problem, or if somebody else is the problem. They're never the problem. And they move just like the devil moves. He's not forceful. He's not, he appears as light, but he's not. He look like, fake like, act like. He's a great actor. That's why God said, beware of wolves in sheep's clothing. Because they know how to disguise themselves to look like, fake like, something that they're not truly like. They try to be like everything other than what they are. They try to camouflage and hide behind a lie. While they deny God, you cannot truly be of God and in God. And you wear a fake facade. And you lie. No, you're out of control. So I want people to be aware of these Jezebel/Delilah spirits. Now, it's still early, so he may have me go back on there because normally he'll hit me with all of this stuff early in the morning. I'll write it down, put it down. I'll be like, okay, I can't sleep. You want to keep downloading. So I'll get on here, tell you guys, and then more on the day. It's like boom, boom, boom. More revelation comes my way. So I may be back on here today. Who's to know how it's going to go? But let me tell you, I want you to be aware of them, but don't be scared of them. Be aware of them, but not scared of them. God is not telling you to be, because he's not a fear. He is of power, love, and a sound mind all the time. So when he tells you to be aware of these things, he's just bringing awareness to it so you can get through it. All you got to do is get rid of them. It's the same thing with your strongholds. All you got to do is stay away from it. Because they'll try to push you in. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to tell this. I'm going to tell it. Call their bluff. Tell it. I'll tell it. You want me to go tell it? That'll shut them up. Then even if and what? And what? And what? But what I'm not going to do is continue to be a fool. That's what I'm not going to do. Is be boo-boo the fool. So I'm going to let you do what you do. Do you, boo. Because God said you will not go unpunished. So I'm going to go into that. All these people that have these wicked schemes, if you know what I mean, there's no in between. They use these wicked devices. It's not of God. They try to hide behind a lie and deny. God said that they will not go unpunished, but his righteous will. They will live. Now, I have to hurry up and break this down so you can be found wearing your crown. Now, Proverbs, the 11th chapter. Proverbs, the 11th chapter. I'm going to tell you how he's going to deal with the Jezebel and Delilah spirits. Don't worry about them. He wants you to be aware of them, but not scared of them. Be aware of them, not scared of them. We have our Father, honey. So they can act funny all they want. Eventually, that fake mask is going to slip right on off. And that comes with the cost, sweetheart. So, they're going to be torn apart, sweetheart. God's about to destroy them, honey. They will not go unpunished, honey. They can act funny, honey, all they want. But let's get into it. So, Proverbs, the 11th chapter. We're going to start at verse 1. And it says, "The Lord detests dishonest scales, but accurate weights find favor with him." So these liars and the pliers, he detests them. This is detesting to God. It says the Lord. The Lord. Proverbs, the 11th chapter at the first verse. The Lord detests dishonest scales. Yes. Verse 2. When pride comes, then comes disgrace. That's why I told you. Put pride aside and let God. But with humility comes wisdom. The integrity, I want y'all to see what I'm reading. Hold the Bible. This is not a book. It's not no book that somebody wrote. Okay, the integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity, their own duplicity. They are destroyed. It says the unfaithful. You're not faithful to God, you have to be destroyed. It says, wealth is worthless in the day of wrath. You can have all the wealth you want, honey. Don't be looking funny, honey, when God comes, honey. But righteousness delivers from death. It says, verse 5, Proverbs, the 11th chapter, verse 5, "The righteousness of the blameless makes their path straight, but the wicked are brought down by their own wickedness." So what you do unto others is going to be done unto you, sweetheart. So don't be wondering why your life is falling apart, sweetheart. Your life is falling apart, sweetheart, because of you, honey. Don't be confused. Everything that you prayed against who is on you, honey. Look at Daniel too, honey. They was at that funny, honey, with Daniel. He was in the lion's den, my friend, but he did not get devoured in. Who got devoured in it? The ones that plotted against him. Same thing with Joseph. They tried to stop Joseph. They did all that they could, but they had it all misunderstood in the good. They had it all misunderstood, honey. All for a little bit of change. They tried to defame Joseph's name, but who did they have to bow down to? Now, verse 6. Proverbs, the 11th chapter, verse 6. I'm still waking up. I can't even get my words out of the way. "The righteousness of the upright delivers them, but the unfaithful are trapped by evil desires. Hopes placed in mortals die with them. All the promise of their power comes to nothing." All the promises of their power, their so-called fake power, comes to absolutely nothing. It says nothing right here on Proverbs, the 11th chapter, verse 7. Nothing. Verse 8. It says the righteous person is rescued from trouble. So they try to double down on you and get you into some trouble. But the righteous children will be rescued from trouble. If we double down, we can wear our crown. Ain't no backing down now. You're going to have to let it go. Let them go, honey. They can act funny all they want, honey. They ain't got nothing on you because it says that God will rescue you. So I want you to get the clue. He said beware, but don't be scared. Now, verse 9, "With their mouths, the godless destroy their neighbors, but through knowledge the righteous escape. See, he keep telling you he provides a way of escape. So you see that little crack in that, you better go through it, honey, so he can get you through it. When the wicked perish, again, this is all punishment that they're going to get because they will not go unpunished. When, he didn't say possibly or maybe, he said when the wicked perish, there are shouts of joy. Through the blessing of the upright, a city is exalted. But by the mouth of the wicked, it is destroyed. This Proverbs, the 11th chapter, verse 11. Whoever derives their neighbor has no sense, but the one who has understanding holds their tongue. A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret. A trustworthy person will keep a secret. But these Delilah and these Jezebels will gossip and tell everybody. And then deny in front of God. That's so weird. They acting like, faking like God don't see them like, but they will not go unpunished. So be aware, but not scared. I need to add that to the title. Beware, but not scared. For lack of guidance, a nation falls, but victory is won through many advisors. Whoever puts security for a stranger will surely suffer, but whoever refuses to shake hands and pledge is safe. A kind-hearted woman gains honor, but ruthless men gain only wealth. Those who are kind benefit themselves, but the cruel bring ruin on themselves. This is punishment. They bring ruin to themselves. It ain't nobody else for them to blame, but they're going to blame everybody else but themselves. But they bringing it on themselves. God is telling them that they're bringing ruin. The cruel bring ruin on themselves. A wicked person earns deceptive wages, but the one who sows righteousness reaps a sure reward. Look at the fruits, honey. Truly the righteous attain life, but whoever pursues evil finds death, punishment. The Lord detests those whose hearts are perverse, but he delights in those whose ways are blameless. Be sure of this, the wicked will not go unpunished. It just said it. Proverbs, the 11th chapter, verse 21. Be sure of this, the wicked will not go unpunished, but those who are righteous will go free. Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who shows no deception. The desire of the righteous ends only in good, but the hope of the wicked only in wrath. Don't provoke God's wrath, but you're provoking it when you do these deceitful, demonic stuff. One person gives freely yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly but comes to poverty. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. People curse the one who hoards grain, but they pray God's blessing on the one who is willing to sell. Whoever seeks good, whoever seeks good finds favor, but evil comes to one who searches for it. Those who trust in their riches will fall, but the righteous will thrive like a green leaf. Whoever brings ruin on their family will inherit only wind, and the fool will be servant to the wise. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and the one who is wise saves lives. If the righteous receives their due on earth, how much more the ungodly and the sinner? So, as you know, God is in control. He said, beware, but not scared. So, you got to know that God is under control. You got to know that God is under control. He got this all under control. He just wants you to know and be aware, but not scared of these Jezebel and Delilah spirits. Because they will not go unpunished. They are going to get punished. He already told them what not to do. But they want to act confused and continue to do these deceitful, demonic things. So they ain't going to have nobody else to blame but themselves. So don't listen to anybody else and what they try to do that you told them in secret and they trying to expose and all that. Do what you got to do. Call their bluff. Call their bluff. Because they with the stuff, so call their bluff. And let them know who's in control, honey. They can act funny all they want. They can play victim. Honey. That's why I don't even try to play victim roles and all this nonsense. If I was wrong, I was wrong. Let's move on. I will admit when Shanidra's wrong. If I'm wrong, I can change that. Now, if somebody else wrong, then we're gonna have to figure out. But if I'm wrong, I can admit when I'm wrong. But the Jezebel, they're not going to admit. They're going to quit and they're going to act like, fake like, start crying like, and victim like, and all this like. Every time you try to take flight and leave, they try to act like you need them. You don't need it, especially a man or woman of God do not need anybody guiding them but God. Now he brings true men and women of God, but you have to have that discernment. We all have that discernment, honey. And my problem, because like he said, it could be, I know Delilah and Jezebel was a woman, but it could have been a man too. And they would try to confuse you and make you feel so bad, like, oh, you're just gonna leave and all I've done for you. And every time, I told you, every time I try to leave and I'm like, oh, this is not for me. Oh, I need to be with me, with myself. My grandmama just passed and all this stuff, you can't leave these people. Like God has to remove them. You have to pray to God to remove these people because they will play victim. You would know that they're wrong and you ready to, you talk to them, because I'm not one to sit there and be like, oh, well, I'm not going to say anything. Or no, Shanidra's going to let you know real quick. This is what you need to fix real quick because I'm not the one. Period. I'll tell them straight up. But somehow it will flip on me. Like I'm talking crazy. Like 1 minute they apologize, yeah, I'm sorry, or whatever. The next thing I know, it's flipped. Now they're trying to trip. No, I had to let that go. And I had to pray to the Almighty. And I told you that was the relationship that, I had to fight for my celibacy. So I thought, that they, if this gets out that I was shacking and lacking again, but I'm like, look here, I'm gonna tell them. How about that? Let me say, money. But God, He gave me a way to escape. Thank the Lord. Because it'll have you scared, like, oh my gosh, Lord, I messed up again, because that's how I feel. I'm like, even though I was fighting for my celibacy and to continue to be celibate, I just still felt like, oh my gosh, in front of God. Like, I wanted to hide. I didn't want to talk to God. I was just like, oh my God, Lord, I'm messed up again, or, whatever. But God forgave me and gave me a way out. But they would try to always use that. But I finally got out of that because of God. Because they was not going to leave. These people would not leave, honey. There's nothing you could tell them. Every time you're done, boom, bam, all of that, they still hanging around. Like they're not gonna let you go. They are obsessed. And that's one thing my mama was right about. This one person was obsessed. I ended up having stalkers before, but then this person was beyond a stalker. He was obsessed with Shanita. So these people are like obsessed with you. And they would not leave you. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say to them. There's nothing you can tell them. You're going to have to pray these people out, honey. But I've always been strong-minded, so you can try to control. You can't control this. I'm controlled by God, honey. So you can act funny all you want, honey. I'm controlled by God. So once I decide to ride and let God, honey, bye. Bye. You tried it, but God denied it. So let God punish them. But you get up from up under them. While he punished them, you get from up under them. Now I know your heart might be like mine. You want to help all the time. Like every time I would leave, the person's mother ended up dying. It was just always something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't leave them like this. God was like, you were good. You were good. I got that. I got that. I got that. And this person, mother died, I was like, oh my Lord. I don't think they're going to be capable to, deal with this. Let me be nice again and all that stuff. And, you end up letting them back in and all that. No. That's out of control. No. God got them. I had to let go and let God. So these Jezebel and Delilah spirits, they are victimized spirits. They always victim. They always flip it, switch it on you. But don't be confused. God wants you to be aware, but not scared, because they will not go unpunished. He said that they're going to death. But you need to get out the way. They're attached to godly people, men and women of God. They don't have no power. They try to look like, fake like, act like something that they're not like. They act Christ-like. They really, you don't get fooled by them just acting like a fool. They deceive you. That's why he said don't be deceived. They will deceive you as acting like, because they're always, they got everything under control because they're fake. Real people, we have real emotions, we let these emotions, we feel them, we deal with them. People that don't deal with them or heal from them, they can be fake all day. They always had the right things to say. I mean, every time. I'm like, oh God, I'm just not feeling right. Oh, keep your head up, stay strong. I'm like, oh, they are sweet. And no. That's why I was telling y'all, when, something drastic is happening, like when my grandmother died, honey, deny all things until you get healed, honey. And you are able to see the real, honey. Beyond the cover, honey. You're going to have to discover beyond the cover. Now, that's all I wanted to really break down. If God has me to get back on here, my dear, I will be back on here to make things more clear. But this was heavy. I couldn't even stay asleep. It was just like, God was just downloading. I was trying to, put it down so I could tell y'all, when I woke up. But then it was just, I'm like, I got to get this. I got to go ahead and say what God has me to say on today. So God wants you to be aware, but not scared of these Jezebel and Delilah spirits. These are demonic spirits. that play victim. I know we've all dealt with these type of demonic people that act like, and you be like, hold up, they slick, just diss me, or they slick, just trick me. And then we start catching up and seeing this stuff, and we're like, hold up. But then somehow we start talking to the people and we getting on them and telling them that they're wrong. All of a sudden it's back on. No, that's out of control. What we not gonna do is confuse the two. So we're gonna be aware and not scared of these people. And we're gonna allow God to punish them because they will not go unpunished. Proverbs, the 11th chapter. We read the whole 11th chapter of Proverbs. Read it. He will give you a way to escape. Proverbs 11 and 21, it says, be sure of this, the wicked will not go unpunished, but those who are righteous will go free. He set me free. He's seen everything, and he set Shanita free. So I know he will set you free, honey. They can act funny, or you call their bluff, honey. They can do what they want, but they ain't gonna have you. You got to do what God has you to do. Don't let them confuse you. Do what what you know for a fact that God is having you to do. That's why we're not supposed to really go to anybody else but God. When God tells us we need to consult with God. Now, we may get confirmation, like my apostle may give me confirmation on something. He may just say it, though. I may not ask him about what me and God had talked about, but he may just say it, and I'm like, boom, that's confirmation. Boom. Because it'd be right on what I had just talked to God about or whatever. So I'm like, okay, God, I get it. So this is how you want me to handle this. Boom. But we're supposed to consult with God. See, that was part of my problem. I used to tell my little friends or who I thought was friends, about my relationships and all this stuff. And honey, no, that was the young Shanidra. I'm not doing that. What will be between me and my husband will be between me and my husband. It ain't up for discussion. It's going to be between me, my husband, and God. Now, I'm going to be telling God a lot, honey. I know my Father hears me, honey. So if he do anything, honey, I'm going to be telling my Father, honey. I'm going to tell God. Telling him. I'm telling him everything. You see this. When you see this. But, the man that God is going to bring me will add up no sorrow. So I'm not saying that we're not going to go through anything or anything like that. But anyways, we have to stay prayed up. That's the best way against the enemy is to pray to the Almighty and to do it his way, which is Yahweh, because it's God in the flesh. So I'm trying to bless you so you won't be stressed. Pray, because I prayed my way out of that. These obsessed people will not leave you. These Delilah, Jezebel, they trying to control you, and anytime that they can't control you, oh my gosh. Everybody else around you is demonic. Everybody, because they see that somebody else is about to have control or whatever. Whatever is in their weird, wicked minds that keeps them in the bind. But they're going to find that they ain't got no more time. So, beware but not scared. That's all God wants you to hear today. Beware of these Jezebel, Delilah spirits, but don't be scared. Because they will not go unpunished, honey. They can act funny, honey, all they want. He just wants you to be aware. Don't be deceived. Because it's easy to be deceived. They act like, they keep this calm mask on, they always, there. And, like I told you, when When I was dealing with my grandmother, they was just right there and no, I don't want to leave you by yourself. You shouldn't be by yourself and all this stuff. Yes, I should have. I should have been by myself and, let God be God in my life, heal me, deal with me right there and there. But still with that, after I prayed to that, I was like, Lord, please help me. I'm so sorry. That's why I said, acknowledge what you do wrong. I apologize. I'm sorry for even, letting this in, but please help me out of this. I promise. And he know that I'm serious. So, and he moved me. Cause me standing in that same location, honey. But he moved me and confused the enemy. The enemy did not know what I was. He moved me and then gave me different cars. Every time a person would see me in this car, I would end up in another car. God was just, he gave me a way to escape. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. I told you I'm not one of these fake people that act like, fake like, because God said, if any man say that they have never sinned. And it's not that people say that they have never sinned, but the ones that act like nothing has ever, and they have never, and all this stuff, and they have been victim in all their situations, and they have never been wrong, and all this nonsense. Oh, yeah, everybody has just done me wrong. I've never, ever done anybody. That's Delilah and Jezebel. They've never done every story that they tell you somebody did them wrong. Now, I've told you stories of people actually doing me wrong, but I've also told you how I was wrong. I was yelling at people, saying that I wasn't yelling. I know. I didn't know I was sounding delusional. I didn't know, but you ain't gonna find me acting delusional today, honey. I can see May, honey. I have to look in the mirror all the time, honey. So that's all I want to let you guys know on today. We must pray and obey the Almighty. We must do it Yahweh so we don't hit the highway. Beware but not scared of these Jezebel, Delilah spirits. They beat them, they lie, they gossip, they act like they're your friend in front of you, but don't be confused. They betray you too. So that's all I have to tell you on today. Have a great day.